Hi, I'm Greg Howlett, and I want to take a minute and talk to you about a chord that we call a half-diminished chord. Half-diminished. I've talked before about fully diminished chords. A fully diminished chord is 4 notes, and each note is separated by 3 half steps. Sounds like this, okay? Now, a half-diminished chord is a chord that many of you have never heard of, but it is a chord that's used. It's used quite a bit in music. It sounds like this. This is a D half-diminished chord. And I'm going to show you a couple ways that you can build these chords. I'm going to sort of build on some things that you may know already. First of all, with this first example, or this first way, we often refer to a half-diminished chord as a minor seventh with a flat 5. Okay? So a very, very simple way to build a half-diminished chord is you play a minor seventh and then drop the 5th a half step. You'll often see it written that way. Okay, so there's a C minor 7th, drop the 5th, and there is a diminished sound. Okay? So we play a minor 7th, drop the 5th. D minor 7, flat the 5, so you move the A down to A flat, and there is a half diminished sound. That's probably the easiest way to think of a diminished sound, a half diminished sound, is a minor 7th with a flat 5. Now, for those of you that aren't thinking that way yet, here's another way we can go about teaching you how to build this chord starting on any note. We're going to use something I've talked about a lot in the past, which is the interval between each of the 4 notes. There's 4 notes in this chord. You have 1, 3, 5, and 7. And the distance between 1 and 3 consists of 3 half steps. Okay, now a half step is just a movement of 1 note on the keyboard. If you start on a note, you move to the next note, regardless of whether that note is white or black. You start on A. If you want to move up a half step, you move to B flat. Okay? So, 4 notes, 3 intervals. The first interval, the distance between the bottom 2 notes, is a minor third, or 3 half steps. Okay, so we go up 1, 2, 3. Okay, then you move up 3 more half steps to get to the next note. That's G flat, and then 4 half steps. So the interval, the top interval, is 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So again, you move up to get to the first, you start on a note, to get to the next note, you move up 3 half steps, then 3 more half steps, then 4 half steps, starting on A flat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And there is your half diminished chord. Okay? In future clips, I'll explain how you might use that chord in your songs. It actually is useful. You will see it in the music that you play, probably more than you realize. Sometimes you'll see it notated with a circle with the slash through it. Like you'll see A with the circle and then a slash through it. That means half diminished. It's also very, very common to see that chord written as minor 7th, flat 5. That's a very common way of seeing that chord written in music if you play lead sheets or that kind of thing. That's all that means. When you see C minor 7 flat 5 in your mind, you're just thinking half diminished. All right, that settles it, or that settles it. That does it for today, and we'll talk about other interesting chords in other clips.